praises. This next song is Drop Down Ye Heavens. All praises. No, it's not. That's just
Drop down the heavens, yeah. Open up the heavens, Yashara'al. Let the skies pour down your righteousness. Let the earth open up and let them bring forth salvation. Yeah. Open up the heavens, the Shemayah. So won't you open up the heavens, the Shemayah. Won't you rain on us, oh yeah. Open up the heavens, the Shemayah. We really need a touch from you, yeah. So won't you send down your glory from your Shemayah, yeah. Open up the heavens, the Shemayah, yeah. Open up the heavens, the Shemayah, yeah. So won't you open the heavens above, yeah, yeah. Open the heavens above. Won't you open the heavens above? 'Cause our eyes are open wide and we're ready to receive. So open up the heavens, the Shemayah, yeah. Let Yashara'al fall down and wake up these bones. We will be like our Father, our God, 'cause we won't let you go. Shake the foundation, child, of our very souls. Walk us through the fire, yeah. We come out like pure gold. Oh. We come out like pure gold. So with our hands lifted high, even through all the pain, open up the shine and pour out your rain. Open up the heavens, the Shemayah. 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 Eyes are open wide and we're ready to receive. Eyes are open wide and we're ready to receive. Eyes are open wide and we're ready to receive. Eyes are open wide and we're ready to receive. Open up the heavens, Shemayah.
praises, all praises, all praises, all praises, all praises. Let your kingdom come, Mama. Let your kingdom come, Mama. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done, Abba. All praises. All praises, family, all praises. Rabbi, we may exit this portion, praise and worship, but praise and worship for us never stops. Let me turn the camera on. Praise and worship never stops. All praises, all praises. So with that, family, we're going to continue on in our fellowship. This particular study did a while back. And basically, me personally, I titled it "Why We Shouldn't Call Ourselves Kings of Yashara'al." And basically, the scripts that came out were because Yah is our King. We're gonna go over that. However, I just added on to that study of why, and some of us have heard this before, some of us, who are on, who've heard this before, of why YAH is not our king as well. Oh, someone else is coming in. Of why YAH is not the king as well, because again, we know in rulership, there can only be one king. And, I know a lot of people will, I may catch flack for that, this and that, whatever. I know what text says especially in the New Testament. However, there's many witnesses in the text that say different, that the Most High is our King. And if there's only one king, there cannot be two kings ruling in a kingdom. So we're going to kind of go over that, but the reason why it's like that, the reason why it's been written like that, the reason why it's been taught that way, is because of first and foremost, we as Yashara'al, we forsook the covenant of the Most High, and our forefathers disobeyed, and we happened upon these curses. These curses fell upon us, and with that, our enemies rule over us. Our enemies who are pagan, they rule over us. So, a lot of changes have taken place. So with that, I'm going to start off with, let us consider what has happened from the beginning, and then as well as the agenda of the pagan nations against Yashara'al, right? So let's consider what has happened from the beginning, as well as the agenda of Yashara'al, for Yashara'al, against Yashara'al, excuse me. So again, Yah is our king, right? And again, if Yah is our king, no one else can be king. That includes us and Yahawashi. Now we know that we were all, the Most High allowed us to have kings over Yashara'al, right? But that was never his intention. That was never his intention. And I say that and also add, remember, there are other things that the Most High allowed within Yashara'al. We can go on to another study for that. But there are other things that the Most High allowed for Yashara'al, but that was never the intent, right? So that goes on to other things as well. But again, the Most High intended a certain thing, a certain purpose, a certain will for the people of the book. And, because our hearts are hard, because our hearts sought other things, we did other things. He may have allowed it, but that was not his intent. So again, let us consider what has happened from the beginning, as well as the agenda. So again, what does the commandment say, right? The commandment, Exodus 20, verses 2 and 3. And again, foundational text, right? In order to build a house, you have to have a foundation, right? So that's why we always hit these foundational texts. So Exodus 20, verses 2 and 3, the Septuagint, we know it well. Most High says, I am Yah, your power, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Right? Verse 3. You shall have no other gods beside me. You shall have no other gods beside me. So again, as we continue to go on, we'll find out why they wrote the Mashiach as a king. You know what I mean? And again, it goes with the Trinity doctrine, this and that or whatever, right? They have us worshiping, quote unquote, Jesus as king. I mean, as God, as God, right? So this is why they have him also as king, because they have us worshiping him as God, Mashiach, Yahweh, whatever the world calls him, Jesus. They have him worshiping, us worshiping him as the Most High himself. And we know he is not. In the text, you'll find nowhere in the scripts where Yahweh said that he was a king. You'll find nowhere in the scripts, just like you will find nowhere in the scripts. Yahweh doesn't say anywhere in the scripts that he is the Most High. Never says it, not one time. Right? So let's continue on. Exodus 22:3. We said that the Most High said that he will have no other God. We will have no other gods beside him. Right? So then we continue Deuteronomy 28:36, the curses. Right? Deuteronomy 28:36. Again, we walked up in these curses when we forsook the foundation of the Most High. We forsook his law, statutes, commandments, right? So Deuteronomy 28:36 in the Septuagint says, Yah carry away you and your princes, whom you shall set over you, to a nation which neither you nor your fathers know. And he says, and you shall there serve other gods, of the wood and stone. You shall there serve other gods of wood and stone. So we're going to be sent to our enemies, right? And in our enemies' lands, we're going to be made to serve other gods, wood and stone. We've gone over this many times. Wood, of course, what's the representation of the wood? The crucifix or the cross or whatever you want to call it. That stone is the Kaaba stone that the Muslims, worship when they go over there, to the Hajj over there, or was that Mecca, Medina, whatever the case may be. So, those are the two biggest religions, if you will, Christianity, Islam, those are the two that are ever present before us continually, right? And we were made to serve these other gods, okay? So again, this is us considering what has happened from the beginning, and as well as the agenda of the nations that are against Yashara'al. Judith chapter 5, Judith, the book of Judith in Apocrypha, chapter 5, excuse me, verses 20 and 21. Judith chapter 5, verses 20 and 21. And it says, now therefore, and this is Achior, who I believe is a captain or something like that in I can't remember if it was the Moabite army or the Ammonite army or something like that, and he's speaking to Holofernes, who's the captain in the Assyrian army, right? And he's speaking about us as a people. And this is Judith 5, verses 20 and 21. He says to Holofernes, he says, now therefore, my master and governor, if there be any error against this people is Yashara'al. If there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, against their Elohim, against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Okay? So he's telling them, if they sin against their power, if they sin against their Elohim, okay, let us consider that this is going to be their ruin, right? And he finishes up and he says, and let us go up and we shall overcome them. But, verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my master now pass by, unless their master defend them and their power before them. and we become a reproach before all the world. So again, this is known. This was known way back then. It's known even now, right? So it's the same agenda. There's nothing new under the sun. The same agenda. If we can get these people to sin and do everything that's not according to their commandments and their law, statutes, commandments to their power, if we can get them to be corrupt before their power, then this is going to be their ruin, and we'll be able to take advantage of them. All right. This is their agenda. They know what's
Wow,
up. They know what's going on. Go ahead, Op.
wow. Precept to that. I can't get it right now. My hand's wet. Precept to that is in Daniel, I believe it's chapter 1, where Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah was pretty much presented with unclean meats or presented with the king's menu. And Daniel, he was like, pretty much was like, "No, we ain't gonna get down with this, with your program. We gonna stay with the program with the Most High has us on." And that pretty much that's what the Babylonians' attempt or intentions were, is to derail our ancestors that were in the Babylonian captivity, have them on their program so they can be further away from the Most High.
Con, Con. You mentioned Daniel chapter 1, and it's the truth, and you see it in certain texts, especially in Daniel chapter 1. You see it again in Maccabees, things of that nature. They didn't want us doing anything concerning, what we needed to do, our law, statutes, commandments concerning the Most High. He's our power, and if the Most High saw that we were going against him, he came against us, right? And they were able to take advantage. As a matter of fact, let me. There was something I meant to read a few weeks ago, because like I said, this is the reason why we have to get away from the doctrines and the philosophies of Christianity that has been over us since we've been in captivity and things of that nature. Whether it be Christianity, Islam, whatever, we have to get away from these things, because these things have nothing to do with the Most High. A lot of people feel that we've took some things from Christianity, or we've learned some things, or not everything Christianity is bad. This not No, Christianity in and of itself, the whole idea of it was bad, right? It was bad. We were already the Most High's people. We were already a spiritual people. Again, we have these flesh suits on, and because of the disobedience of our forefathers, and we're in the lands of our enemies, and we were taught things that were contrary to our heritage, right? So we're not bringing anything over from Christianity. We are, just like the text says, right? We're being transformed by the renewing of our mind, right? Being transformed by the renewing of our mind. There's a verse in Second Ezra that says, Second Ezra 14 verse 34 says, "Therefore, if so be that you will rule over your own understanding and instruct your hearts, you will be kept alive, and after death you will obtain mercy." So if you were subdue your own understanding, so you have to relearn now. You have to kind of wipe away everything that we've been taught, and now the Most High wants us to relearn, like sit before Him and accept of His Spirit, accept of what it is that we lost, and get back to what it is we lost, because we lost a lot. But let me go to his real quick. Let me see. Go to this real quick. This is the Constantine's Creed, right? This goes to show you that there was nothing in Christianity that was ever for us. This is Constantine's Creed, right? I'm just going to read this real quick. and then we'll get back to what we're talking about. Because like I said, a lot of us feel that we have to bring some things over from Christianity, and that could not be further from the truth. That's not the case at all. Again, Christianity was not set up to help us in any way, shape, or form at all. So there's nothing at all we need to bring from Christianity. Nothing. It's traditions. It's nothing at all. It's teachings, whatever it is, nothing. We need to really, honestly, just erase all of like my man Danny says, those tapes playing in our head. We have to erase all of that and again, start fresh and allow the Most High to feed us, not trying to figure out what the text is. The Most High gives us his word, and by his spirit, he brings all things back to our remembrance. So this is why we have to empty ourselves and, allow for our minds to be renewed in humility. But let me read this. This is the, I'm going to post I'm going to put the link in the chat for anybody that wants to read this. And it's the link. So this says, this early document of the Roman Catholic Church, established by Emperor Constantine and codified at the Council of Nicaea, is a fundamental but little known policy of the Catholic Church. It is an attempt to not just distance from, okay, listen to this. It is an attempt to not just distance from, but destroy the connections of their new religion, Christianity, from its origins in the Hebraic Jewish culture. Okay? So it is an attempt to not just distance from, but destroy, okay, any connection to us, to our covenants, to our way of life, right? Also included are decrees from subsequent Catholic councils. Now, not sure if this is all of it, but this is just little, a little bit of, one second, y'all. This is just a little bit of what their ideas are. So it says the Constantine Creed, 325 AD, established by the Council of Nicaea, says, I renounce all customs, rites, legalisms, unleavened breads, and sacrifices of lambs of the Hebrews, and all the other feasts of the Hebrews, sacrifices, prayers, aspirations, purifications, sanctifications, and propitiations, and fasts, and new moons, and Shabbats, and superstitions, and hymns, and chants, and observances, and synagogues. Okay? So this is Constantine. I renounce everything that has anything to do with the brews. I'm renouncing all of that. I'm killing all of that. This is what they're saying. So with that being said, I mean, do we honestly think that we should be taking anything from them? Okay, I'm going to finish. Absolutely, everything Jewish. Of course they say Jewish, of course, but we know we're not ish. Absolutely everything Jewish, every law, rite, and custom, and if afterwards I shall wish to deny and return to Jewish superstition, or shall be found eating with Jews, or feasting with them, or secretly conversing and condemning the Christian religion, instead of openly confuting them and condemning their vain faith, then let the trembling of Cain and the leprosy of Gehazi cleave to me, as well as the legal punishments to which I acknowledge myself liable. So he says, if he himself is found acknowledging anything that has to, our culture or our commandments or this and that, if he himself is found acknowledging that or whatever, he says, let the trembling of Cain and let the leprosy of Gehazi cleave to him, right? As well as the legal punishments to which as well as the legal punishments to which I acknowledge myself liable, and may I be an anathema in the world to come, or may he be loathed or cursed in the world to come. That's what he's saying. May I be an anathema in the world to come, and may my soul be set down with Satan and the devils. So this is what Constantine is saying He's saying, I'm renouncing anything that the Hebrews have to do with. I'm renouncing it. I'm throwing it away. I want it destroyed. And if myself or anybody is found consorting with them or whatever the case may be, he said, let them be cursed. Let them be cursed and let them be set down with Satan himself. Right? So it's not that he's saying that it's a farce. He's not saying it's a farce. He's not saying that it's fables or anything like that or whatever. He himself acknowledges Cain. He acknowledges Gehazi, who did have the leprosy in the text, right? He's acknowledging, but he's saying we don't want to have anything to do with that, right? So let me finish. The Council of Nicaea. He finishes and says, setting a brand new holy day of Easter as the resurrection of Yahushua. Says Yeshua there, but Yahushua. Distinct from the biblical dates of Passover and first fruits, his actual death and resurrection. This decree was read by Constantine and sent to churches everywhere. Right? Then there's a quote here. When the question arose concerning the most holy day of Easter, it was decreed by common consent to be expedient that this festival should be celebrated on the same day by all in every place. And truly, in the first place, it seemed to everyone a most unworthy thing that we should follow the custom of the Jews in the celebration of this most holy solemnity, who polluted wretches, having stained their hands with a nefarious crime, are justly blinded in their minds. It is fit, therefore, that rejecting the practices of this people, we should perpetuate to all future ages the celebration of this rite in a more legitimate order. Let us then have nothing in common with the most hostile rabble of the Jews. Let us not have anything in common. Nothing in common with the Jews.
Man, and this was 325 AD. So this was
Come on.
300 years after Yeshua died that they coming up with this. So it wasn't even a thing biblically.
Come on, my man. You see what I'm saying? So this is, but yet, even our own people want to take from this, want to take from Christianity. Christianity didn't give us squat. Okay, he said we don't want to have anything to do with the Jews at all. Anything they're coming with, we don't want to have anything to do with. We're going to do our own thing and put it out there as doctrines, as laws, as statutes, as commandments. That's what we're doing. Right? So again, to finish, just a little bit more. Okay, more of what they're quoting says, I accept all customs, rites, legalism, and feasts of the Roman sacrifices, prayers, purifications with water, sanctifications by Pontificus Maximus, who is the high priest to Rome, propitiations and feasts, and the new Shabbat, Sol Day, Sunday. That's what they're saying. All new chants and observances and all the foods and drinks of the Romans. In other words, I absolutely accept everything Roman, every new law, rite, and custom of Rome, and the new Roman religion. Okay, to finish it off, Christians were banned from the Council of Antioch. Christians were banned from celebrating the Passover Seder with Jewish friends or neighbors, right? And then in the Council of Laodicea, 363 to 364 AD, the biblical Shabbat day was outlawed. Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Shabbat, but must work on that day, rather honoring the Lord's day. And if they can, resting then as Christians. But if any be found to be Judaizers, let them be cursed from Mashiach. Okay? Let them be cursed. So this is what you have in Christianity. Again, Christianity was never for us. Church was never for us. It had nothing to do with us. We should not be bringing anything anything, anything from church, from Christianity, nothing. We had to literally, honestly, be before the Most High, scrub our minds, humble ourselves before Him, and allow Him to pour into us. This is why we have these fellowships. This is why we have these studies, so that we can relearn. This is what it's about. It's about relearning. It's about getting back to what the Most High has intended for us. So again, with us not calling ourselves kings, we can't call ourselves kings because the Most High says, you shall have. First of all, you shall have no other gods before me. And then he says He's not giving His glory to another. He's not giving His glory to another. In the kingdom, there is only one king. And think about it. This is why it's important, because and anybody can answer this, because again, this is not just me talking. Again, we in the living room, we family, we just chilling, having a discussion. What do y'all think will happen, right? In a kingdom, what do you think happens if anybody beside the king said that they was king or was going to be king? What do y'all think will happen?
It'll be confusion, and there wouldn't be a solidification of what is right and wrong, what is lawful. Everyone would have established what is lawful within their own perspective.
Right, probably a civil war. Exactly right. Khan, what the Yah said, and then what do you think happens to the one trying to set himself up as a king over the actual king? What do you think happens? You'll be killed. I don't think you can be cast out. I think you'd be straight up killed. You got the king, who's the established king, and now you trying to raise yourself up as a king over the actual king. Later, for being cast out, you probably 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be beheaded. You're gonna be killed.
Yeah, because they call that treason.
There you go. There you go. You're gonna be done. So again, I understand that we're coming back to our law, statutes, commandments. Again, this is stuff that we didn't know. We've been, wrongly, taught and this, that, and instructed. However, once it comes up, once you know. Okay, when you know better, you do better, and this is why we have to take our time and allow the Most High to feed us and show these things. And when these things are shown to us, we have to take the proper steps now, going forward and make those changes. So again, Yah is our king. We shouldn't be calling ourselves king. And if Yahweh he's our kinsman redeemer, he's our brother, right? Now he's been given an appointment far greater than what we've been given. And we honor him for that. We don't worship him as the Most High, right? Because he himself never said he was the Most High. This is what the enemies they've written this into the text. They've written it into the text. That's why we need the Spirit. We need the Spirit in order for to bring these things back to our remembrance. We need the Spirit to open our eyes and open our understanding to what the Most High is saying to us in the text. Because again, we are in the lands of our enemies. 70 AD, when the Romans came in and ransacked Jerusalem, they took our scrolls, they took out this and that or whatever. And I'm telling you, it's like the art of war. They came in and they jacked up some things, right? But thanks be to the Most High, the foundation of it is still there. The foundations are still there, and the Most High has given us the wherewithal to be able to sit before Him. And again, that's why humility is key. Humility is key. Not thinking we have it all together, not thinking we got it all figured out, to really allow the Most High to feed us. Sitting before Him and allow Him to feed us this text and what it is He wants us to know, so that we can walk worthy before Him. It's not about our opinions, or anything like that. It's about what He wants from us, right? So again, if we're not calling ourselves kings, and Yahweh is our kinsman redeemer, He's our brother, He doesn't call Himself a king, He doesn't call Himself the Most High, then why are we doing it? Why are we doing it? So again, we just read Judith, and the agenda is to get us to sin against the Most High, right? And this shall be our ruin. And then in Second Corinthians, Paul writes this: 2 Corinthians 11, 1 through 4. 2 Corinthians 11, 1 through 4. And this is what we have. This is what we have to understand, right? There is another, again, the text says Jesus, right? Well, we know who we speak of. There are going to be. It says two. Jesus is being preached. It's two different people. So they say Jesus, but we say Yahweh or Yeshua, whoever we call upon, like my man Abadja says, do whatever dialect you want to choose. But they say Jesus, we say Yeshua. They're not this, or Yahweh Shai. They're not the same people. It's not the same person. Okay? Like my man Chaz says, you have the blonde haired, blue eyed cat with the pageant sash around him and whole 9 yards, and then you have our Mashiach, the dark skinned brother who was flipping tables and whipping people in the temple, right? So there's two people. There's two people. You have one who was teaching the law and walking in the law, and you have the other one who's saying the law, the law is forgotten, the law is done. Right? These are the two teachings that we have. So 2 Corinthians 11, 1 through 4. ESV says, I wish you would bear with me in a little foolishness. Do bear with me. Verse 2, for I feel a divine jealousy for you, since I betrothed you to one husband to present you as a pure virgin to Mashiach. But I am afraid that as the serpent deceived Eve by his cunning, your thoughts will be led astray from a sincere and pure devotion to Mashiach. Verse 4, for if someone comes and proclaims another Jesus than the one we proclaimed, or if you receive a different spirit from the one you received, or if you accept a different gospel from the one you accepted, you put up with it readily enough. So another Mashiach, another spirit, and a whole other gospel. Did that not happen? Did that not happen? So here we are. Again, we can go over these texts. We've gone over these texts before, but just to go over these texts again. Isaiah 48 and 11 in the Septuagint. Isaiah 48 and 11 in the Septuagint. And Mosiah says, for mine own sake, I will do this for you, because my name is profaned, and I will not give my glory to another. As big of a task as Mashiach had, I'm not giving my glory to him. We honor him for his sacrifice. He's, and Most High is, giving him an appointment bigger than any of us could possibly take on or whatever. But the Most High still not giving his glory to Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai didn't take that glory either. He never mentioned once that he was the Most High, and he never mentioned once that he was king. All right? And again, the reason why they add that into the text, because they've been wanting us to serve another God, another deity, other than the Most High. I mean, look at the Ten Commandments. That's the first thing on the list, the number one joint. You shall have no other gods before me. So let's get them to serve this European, homosexual cat, this and that or whatever, as God, as their king. All right. So Again, we could go. You have First Samuel 8, of course. You know, the Most High is our king. The people wanted a king. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The people wanted a king, and the Most High told Samuel, you know what? Let them have their king. You know, let them know what this king is going to do. You know, this man, when you set this man over them, let them know what he's going to do, this now, whatever. And Samuel broke it down, letting the people know what this king was going to do, and how he's going to treat his own people now, his own people, because the heart is what? Desperately wicked and deceitful above all things. So this man who set up over the people, this is how he's going to treat the people wickedly, right? But yet, what did the people say? What's that? First Samuel 8. 1 Samuel 8:19. 1 Samuel 8:19. What did our people say? What did our forefathers say after Samuel broke down what this man that you set over you was going to do? What they say? 1 Samuel 8:19 and 20. But the people would not hearken to Samuel. And they said to him, nay, but there shall be a king over us, and we also will be like all the nations. Again, ain't not new under the sun. This stuff has been happening from the beginning. From the beginning. You know, following the nations, following what the nations want to do. And we forsook our king, the Most High, right? And this is what the Most High says to Samuel, right? And this is where we should all be. This is speaking to all of us. Like, again, when, you know, the Most High may give you utterance to speak to family members, to speak to friends, to speak to this person, that one, whatever, such and such and such. And there is a rejection. Again, just like he told Samuel in 1 Samuel, was that 8 verse 7, right? He says, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from reigning over them. So again, because the words that we speak, the words are not ours, the words are the Most High. So if we're sharing with brothers and sisters and this and that or whatever, and there's a rejection, they're not rejecting you, they are rejecting the Most High. So again, when the people wanted a king over them, even though the Most High is our king, he told Samuel, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting me. They're rejecting me. Okay? So from there, let's go into some of these verses now. Let's go into some of these verses. Again, referencing YAH as our king. Because there are many. There are many. You know, I'm not just making this up. Psalm 44. Verses 4 and verse 8. In the Septuagint, it's Psalm 43. Psalm 44, verse 4 and 8. Septuagint is Psalm 43. And it says, the psalmist says, you are indeed my king and my Elohim, or my power, who commanded deliverances for Jacob. Then he says in verse 8, in the Most High, and this is who he's talking about. In the Most High will we make our boast all the day, and to your name will we give thanks forever. Okay? Isaiah 44, verse 6. Isaiah 44, verse 6, a couple of verses up. Thus says the Most High, the King of Yashara'al. Thus says the Most High, the King of Yashara'al, and the Elohim, or the power of hosts that delivered him. And he says, now peep this, he says, I am the first, and I am hereafter. Beside me there is no power. I am the first, and I am hereafter. Beside me there is no power. And the reason why I highlighted that, I am the first, because we see that phrase where else? In Revelations, when Yahushua in red letter, right? It says, well, Yahushua is speaking, in Revelations, and he says, "I am the Al." You know, I know it says the Alpha and Omega, but you know we don't speak Greek. That's not our language. So I say the A and the Ta, beginning and the end, the A and the Ta. But here, the Most High says, I am the first and I am hereafter. Beside me, there is no power. Beside me, there is no Elohim. So then this is why I say when you're reading the New Testament now, you have to vet it. You have to vet it. You have to, compare it with the so-called Old Testament, you know what I mean? Or the Torah and the Tanakh, let's say that, the Torah and the Tanakh. You have to compare it with that. Because like I said, they want you to serve another power. They want you to serve another God. So they're going to make it seem as if, Yahweh Shai is saying certain things. It's not, he's not. He's not saying that. If the Most High said that he is the first, how was Mashiach saying he's the first? You got to make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. And Most High says, I am the first and I am hereafter. So I'm the first and that's it. And I am hereafter, the forever. So he is the first and the last. Point blank in the period. Right? And then he says, beside me, there is no Elohim. There is no power. None. Let's continue. Now, this one is omitted from the Septuagint. It's omitted from the Septuagint. But in Jeremiah 10, verse 10, in the ESV, Jeremiah 10, verse 10, in the ESV, it says, but Yah is the true power. But Yah is the true Elohim. He is the living Elohim, the eternal King. The eternal King. What does eternal mean? Never ending, forever. Okay? When he is, and then it finishes off, when he is angry, the earth trembles, the nations cannot endure his wrath. Right? But it's omitted in the Septuagint. Wonder why. Zechariah 14, verse 9. What is that? Zechariah 14, verse 9 in the Septuagint. Zechariah 14, verse 9, and it reads, and Yah shall be king over all the earth. Yah shall be. So that's not just now, that's also coming. Right? And Yah shall be king over all the earth. In that day, there shall be one, it says one Lord, or Lord is master. There shall be one Adonai, Adonai is master. Should be one Adonai, one master, and his name one. Again, Most High is not giving his glory to anyone else. And Yah shall be king over all the earth. Right? Zechariah 14 and 16, Septuagint. Zechariah 14, 16. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall be left of all the nations that come against Jerusalem shall even come up every year to worship the King, Yah Almighty, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay? Yah Almighty, the King.
17:2.
Read 17.
It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever of all the families of the earth shall not come up to Yahweh to worship the King, Yahweh Almighty, even these shall be added to the others.
So it's there. It's there. So then you have to ask yourself, why add in, that Yahweh Shai is king? Because they want you to believe in this Trinity, that Yahweh Shai and the Most High are the same. Come on, man. And here it is, and then you have in the gospel. It just lets you know how foolish these nations are, right? And then you have in the gospel where Yahushua himself doesn't claim to be the Most High, and he references the Father as his Father. He says he comes in the name, and he does his Father's will, right? So I'm sorry, Psalm 29 verse 10. Psalm 29 verse 10. Psalm 29 verse 10. In the Septuagint, it is chapter 28. Psalm 29 verse 10. Yah will dwell on the water flood, and Yah will sit a king forever. Yah will sit a king forever. Psalm 24, 7 through 10. Psalm 24, 7 through 10. 23 in the Septuagint. Psalm 24, 7 through 10 says, lift up your gates, you princes, and be you lifted up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Verse 8, who is this King of glory? Yah, strong and mighty. Yah, mighty in battle. Verse 9, lift up your gates, you princes, and be you lift up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Yah of hosts. He is the King of glory. So again, we could go on. There's more script. We could go on and on and on, but you get the gist, right? Of why we shouldn't be calling ourselves kings. First, like I said, first and foremost, in 1 Samuel chapter 8, that was never the intention. The Most High was and is our king and will be our king, right? He was, he is, and will be our king. He allowed for us to set up a king over us, but that was not the intention. And then we see what happened with these kings. When you go through and you read through Samuel and Kings and Chronicles, and you see how these kings ended up. We had, even Solomon, and not to speak ill of our forefathers, but I mean, look, we had King Solomon, who the wisdom of the Most High, he gets the wisdom of the Most High, yet he heaps to himself all these women, 300 wives, 700 concubines, this now, whatever, of foreign, strange women, of what the Most High told us not to do, told us not to make marriages, not to make covenants with the other nations. And with the wisdom of the Most High, he still continues to do these things. And what happens, right? He's worshiping these other gods now, and the gods of the wives that he has, because they're all foreign and strange. And just like the Most High said, if you marry these people, you make covenants with them. If you do that, they will remove you. They will take you away and lead you astray from the Most High, which is exactly what they did. And what happened? The kingdom was taken, well, not necessarily from him, but from his son. I'm sorry, not the kingdom was split. Excuse me, kingdom was split in two. Right? You have this is how we end up with the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, and it was just disaster. Right? But it was, when you look at all the kings that were set before us, not every single last one of them, but for the most part, a lot of them did what was evil in the sight of the Most High. You had some kings that did what was right, but a lot of them, for the most part, I think the most of them did evil in the sight of the Most High. Exactly what Samuel, reiterated to the people, what was going to happen if you set these kings over you. It didn't do us any good. So we ourselves, why are we calling ourselves kings? And I say, puffing our chests out and this and that or whatever, such and such. Again, the reason why the world is in chaos is because our forefathers dropped the ball. And I'm not saying you can't be, I hate to use the word proud, but what else word to use? We can't, enjoy and be, confident. We can't be confident in who we are as a people. We find out that we are the people of this book, We are the people of this book, and we have a rich heritage. And a rich future. So yeah, we can be confident, but yeah, to be egotistical and things of that nature, and yeah, haughty. There you go. Haughty about it is nah, man. We can't do that. You know, the world is in flux, just like the text says in Romans, man. The whole creation is groaning. Think about that. The whole entire creation groans, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High, waiting for us to get back on our post, waiting for us to get it right. The whole entire creation. Sometimes I think about that, and I just sit there and I just sit on that for a second. I meditate on that for a second. That the whole entire creation is groaning and is out of sorts because we are not where we're supposed to be, and it's waiting for us, waiting. So, with that, we went over the text of who is really king. So let's read this real quick. Where Yahweh himself is mentioned as a prince. Now I know you're gonna read it. It's gonna say David, but when you read it in the context of what it's talking about, you will see that it's talking about the end. And Yahweh is mentioned as a prince, which should be the correct connotation. Yahweh is mentioned as a prince. Ezekiel 34. Ezekiel 34, 23 and 24. Yes, Ezekiel 34, 23 and 24. And again, I'm reading out of Septuagint. So not sure if any other versions have that or whatever, but out of Septuagint, this is how it reads. It says, verse 23, and I will raise up one shepherd over them, and he shall tend them, even my servant Dawad or David, and he shall be their shepherd. Verse 24. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai, right? We was talking about the end. Verse 24. And I, Yah, will be to them a power, and David a prince in the midst of them. I, Yah, have spoken it. Right? I, Yah, have spoken. It speaks about David, but we know that in the end time, it will not be David, over us. It will be Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai comes from the line of Judah. He comes from that line of kings of Judah.
Lucky.
Get out.
So this is coming out the New Testament. This is Acts chapter 3, verses 14 and 15. I'm gonna read this out the NASB 95. And you disown the holy and righteous one, and ask for a murderer to be granted to you, to put to death the Prince of Life, the one whom Elohim raised from the dead, a fact to which we are witnesses. So right here within the New Testament, Yahweh Shai wasn't referred to by the disciples as king. He was referred to as the prince.
The prince. Lord praises. Because it doesn't even say that in the ESV between here. Off of life.
And desired a murderer to be granted unto you, and killed the prince. It says it in the KJV.
It says it in the KJV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it does say in the KJV. It doesn't say it doesn't say in the ESV. But you get the gist. And again, remember, these translations, all of these things have been, put together to bring about confusion. We know that, but initially, he's the prince. Most High, and again, think about it like this. The Most High is sitting on the throne, right? If the Most High is sitting on the throne and the Mashiach is at his right hand, what does that make him? Prince. Doesn't make him king, makes him a prince. He's sitting at his right hand, doing the will of the Father. right? So again, he's mentioned as prince. Ezekiel chapter 37. Ezekiel chapter 37, 24 and 25. Ezekiel 37, 24 and 25 out of Septuagint. And my servant Dawad shall be a prince in the midst of them. There shall be one shepherd of them all. For they shall walk in mine ordinances and keep my judgments and do them. Right? So again, we know he's talking about the end because he's talking about the so-called the new covenant, right? We know what the new covenant says, that he's going to write his laws in our inward parts, right? So we know you have no choice but to do the will of the Father, right? So he's read it again. And my servant Duad shall be a prince in the midst of them. There shall be one shepherd of them all, for they shall walk in mine ordinances and keep my judgments and do them. Verse 25. And they shall dwell in their land, which I have given to my servant Jacob or Jacob, where their fathers dwell, and they shall dwell upon it. And Dawad or David, my servant, shall be their what? Forever. Their prince forever. Their prince forever. All right. And then even David himself, this is crazy because, this is even David himself in 2 Samuel chapter 6. David himself even references himself as a prince. He himself even references himself as a prince. Maybe there's one area, whatever case may be, but it's there. It is there. And I believe this is in the ESV, I believe. I think it's a Septuagint. I think it's ESV. What is it, 2 Samuel 6? 2 Samuel 6 and 1 second. I believe it is verse 20. 21. 2 Samuel 6, 21. Now, the Septuagint says, make me head over Yashara'al. That's what the Septuagint says. Most High makes him head over Yashara'al, right? ESV is crazy. It says, and David said to Michal, it was before Yah who chose me above your father and above all his house to appoint me as prince over Yashara'al, the people of Yah, and I will celebrate before Yah. And of course, I think this is when David was danced out of his clothes, and Michael was, Michal, she was, kind of bashing my man for it. But even said, David he says the Most High has appointed him as a leader, but he says as a prince. As a prince. So, that's a lot of the text that I have, and I'm sure there's probably more out there. But again, family, some people will say, well, it's not really that important. It may not be a salvation or a kingdom issue, this and that, whatever. But me personally, I think it is, especially if the Most High tells you shall have no other gods before him. And again, we know in the kingdom there's only one king, right? And the Most High is the only one power, and he's our king. No one else should be calling themselves king or acting like king or this and that or whatever beside him. Because again, what do you think would happen if a king raises himself? If somebody else raises himself up over the established king, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna die. Now, again, I'm not bringing any condemnation. This now, but I'm not doing that. I'm just putting it out there as what this could possibly look like. Because I don't bring condemnation. I don't have a heaven and hell to put nobody in. So we don't get down like that over here. But what could this possibly look like? That's how we got to look at it. The Most High is king over Yashara'al, and he did not intend for Yashara'al to have any fleshly kings over them. The nations did that. They had kings. Most we had our king already. So he never intended for that to happen. And then we see the results of that, and we stand in this place, today. And because we are awakened, we understand that, we have a rich and beautiful heritage and a rich inheritance. We still cannot place ourselves as kings and this and that, whatever. And then it's like I said before, not every one of us was a king in Yashara'al. Not everybody was a king. And again, that was not supposed to be the case anyway. So we're not kings. Yahweh Shai is not a king. We honor him for his sacrifice. We honor him for the
Yep.
job that the Most High gave him. So, you got something out? Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So really, Myron, the point that you're getting to, where brothers may greet individuals and say, "What's up, King?" Is that where you're going to?
Yeah,
And
and
those are
and
the things that we're not to do, right?
this is me, and this is me personally. I don't feel we should be referencing
I agree.
ourselves as king.
And I agree. And I believe that even saying that Yah is king, I think that's something that we sort of, because you can't really define that. I mean, he's so much more than what we define as king. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? He is our our God, our the Most High, everything else. And I think, a lot of this with the crafty council sort of puts in play this, that Monyard in a division. But I always go to Psalms 82, if you guys can.
Yep,
And I think it sort of,
yep. I know exactly where you're going.
you know where I'm going?
I think I know where you're
82
going, right?
6.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, you read it out.
No, he said, I said, you are God's small g, right? Sons of the Most High. All of you, nevertheless, like men, you shall die and fall like any prince.
Think about that, right? If you gonna fall, you're gonna die. So he says, yes, you are gods, because
Right.
you are chosen of the Most High. You are gods, and yet even in that, you never heard you saw our peoples referencing themselves as gods. We're gods in the sense that we were chosen of Him. He has given us of His Spirit to perform a task in the earth, right? To be representatives of righteousness in the earth, right? But then again, verse 7, nevertheless, you're going to die like men, right? Like men, you shall die. And then he says, what? And fall like any what? Prince. Fall like any prince.
May
So,
I
yes,
say,
you.
may,
Okay, go ahead, sis.
so I don't have a text to reference, but if I was to correlate what you're saying to real world and facing people, um, one of the identifiers like seasons ago were the names we were given. And for instance, like the name Abdul Malik. Malik is a king, but it's son of king. So when we say king, a lot of times we're using it out of reference, thinking that people really understand what this means. We are children of God, and if you're son of a king, right? So when we say it in the real world, we're saying king, king, almost saying you have power, you have authority, but there should be some understanding that, there's no higher power than the one above, right?
That's right.
The other story I get out of this, and it's only because recently I visited the Navajo people in Utah, and I got to go on a reservation. And if you think of the indigenous people, they relied on many gods, just so to speak, right? Um, but everything circumvents. And I was speaking with one gentleman, and the reference to black gods, us as black people. we have this idea that indigenous people didn't like us, whatever, but they were so reliant on us. It just goes back to, this whole message of who the chosen people are. That when in their time of despair they called on these black gods, and they were excited to see them come, like they called these black warriors. And we would, as the gentleman explained, we would come from the skies, right? Dark rain, thunder skies, and these black guys would come, and whatever the chaos was in that space, we were the warriors that kind of cleaned it up, took care of it, made them whole again. And he this Navajo guy really showed appreciation of why they admired black people, but we don't know this, how powerful we are. And it's told in their legends. If you ever go to the Grand Canyon, or if you ever go to their reservations, you will see um, a lot of symbolisms in reference to God and power, and how they called on power in time of need. So everything that you're teaching right now is so important for us in these, especially in these last days of knowing truly who we are and validating our own identity. Like that, Christianity, the white man, they're not going to give us the credit, because we are truly chosen and truly powerful, but we just don't tap into it because of the loss of all the translation and communication, and someone telling us who we are. And we're not researching that and learning from ourselves, or we're reading from this Christian Bible and taking it verbatim, but nothing is verbatim. We must keep our words in context and then break it down. That's the English language, right? For true understanding. So that's all I wanted to say.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, even with the, again, this could be, I don't know, taught some another lesson or whatever the case may be, but even, who we thought were the indigenous people of the Americas, this now whatever was actually us, right? I mean, I know in school they taught about the $5 Indians and things of that nature, whatever the case may be. So just like, the fish people in the land right now assumed assumed the identity of Yashara'al, assumed the identity of us. Same thing over here. These people were paid, I think it was at $5 to assume our identity. So
Correct.
technically, we are the indigenous of the lands, and because again, we are the people of the earth. I mean, the earth. The Most High said He made the earth for your sakes, but people of the earth. Again, we speak about Solomon had ships, so our people traveled the earth, and were ruling the earth. So, but yeah, like you're saying, we do have to tap into our power. Now, our power is the Most High. Now, again, I will say that, excuse me, we, because of our disobedience, we did, we walked ourselves into these curses, which is the reason why a lot of these things have taken place, which is the reason why, certain factors are at play. However, coming back, just like the text says, we do have to renew our minds. And once we can renew our minds and humble ourselves, when we allow the Most High to rear us up, and to show us these things, and you know you make those changes. You know what I mean? You are now accountable for what you make those changes. And I believe with that, the Most High is with us. We can truly tap into, the light beings that we are. And
Truly. Yep.
Exactly right. So that's really what it is. Just being obedient. We have the text. Again, we know they've been manipulated. However, the foundation is still there, and we trust the Spirit to lead us. We trust the Spirit, not our own selves, not getting puffed up with knowledge. We trust the Spirit to lead us, and bring all things back to our remembrance. So it is the Most High that will give us what we need to know, what we need to do, when we need to do it, what we need to say, such and such and such and such, and we can tap into who the Most High truly made us. I mean, I know Danny, in our studies on Sunday, He has a series right now where we're tapping into spiritual warfare.
Yep.
Ak, if you don't mind, man, could you put that study? You can put the link for the study in the chat bar, as well as Chris and Trav. Y'all can put y'all the fellowship as well, which is later on today, 3 p.m. Eastern time. You put that in the chat as well. But again, we have so much fruit out there. We have brothers, sincere brothers and sisters and things of that nature, who are fervent to seek the things of the Most High, to help us in our journeys, in our studies. I mean, we can never say that we don't have enough. We have more than enough. Yashara'al, he has a podcast, that he puts up every now and again, some lessons and things of that nature that we could tap into. And again, we're all learning. We're all reaching. We're all grabbing. We're all seeking, asking, and knocking, and we're all petitioning the Most High. Again, we're all in the same boat together. And me personally, I just want to see. I know the Most High wants to see us edified and growing in His things. So so this is where we are. So it's not to knock anything, or it's not to knock anybody. It's not to condemn anyone. But we have to know these things. We have to know these things because we want to be on the right side of the Most High. I always say, Marsha always says, you know, we have to err on the side of caution.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We have to err on the side of caution. You got something out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I was just echoing everything you said today. Powerful, powerful study. But you, the more you get to know the Most High, the more you can know all of that to be true. Because Yah is the King of everything, the King of the heavens, the host. I mean, everything. So He's giving out His word, and it's getting done by whomever He tell to do it.
That's
And
right.
and you see that even with Yeshua, because He gave Yeshua a task. He gave Yeshua the authority to judge, etc. Yeshua didn't do that on His own. And
Con.
then you go to, like Psalms 110, reign until I make my enemies your footstool.
Con.
Yeshua is just doing what Yah told him to do. So
There you
he's
go.
not really the king. He's just doing what the king told him to do. And you
That's it.
see, and you see in Corinthians, I think it's Second Corinthians. I think it might be 16. I might be wrong, but you see him reigning to a degree for a season and then giving it to the Most High. It's always been His, but you just see Him doing what Yah's word is. You don't see Him doing anything on His own accord, so you know who the boss is.
Con. Con. Exactly right. And to think about it just in the natural sense, like if you see the movies, these excuse me, these movies and things like that, if you read these books, such and such and such, right? If the king himself is preoccupied with something else, whatever, who's gonna go represent the king? The prince.
Right. Right.
The prince.
And
So
and
it's
and guys,
exactly what you said.
yeah, and I put out on the table is because it's been that the tape recorder in our mind that we use king as the highest position, right? But Yah is the most high in every sense of the word. We don't even have a word that can confine them. I think the word king was when we were overlooking and seeing what the others were doing, and we wanted a king like them, which he said that was, he basically said that was ridiculous, and this is what we would face. But that's why I said that this sort of word king is just something that they've sort of scripted. And I know that sounds crazy, man, but the most high is the most high. I don't think there's a definition for him. You know what I mean? I think we we bring him down. We just say he's the king. That's because what we think we know. But to be honest with you, he's the most high. He's our God. He is everything to us. He appoints kings. You know what I mean? And princesses and everything else. He said that even when Pilate was sitting there talking to Yeshua, Yeshua was like, look, man, you wouldn't even be who you are today if it were not for my Father. Do your
That's
job.
right. That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So that's
That's
why I
right.
say I want to get away mentally. I try to get away from what they sort of scripted for us. The Most High Yah is everything. I mean, he's our creator. I don't know a king that can give, you know what I mean, a mortal
Mm-hmm.
king that can give you life. So,
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and
Right.
to your point, with Yeshua, with him giving Yeshua the authority to do the things he's doing. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember the verse, but I know Mara brought one out that says, "From the line of David will reign." But that's just Yah appointing the king or appointing
That's
the
it.
prince or what. I think it's another verse in Jeremiah 23 that says somebody from David's line will shepherd them. And to
Right.
your point, that's just Yah appointing the king. So he still, he always says that, I will be their God. I mean, that's the
That's right.
closest thing you can come to saying what Yah is in
That's
our
right.
language. You know what I mean?
God. And again, like Chris is saying, again, just these words, king, a Hebrew, the word for it is malak, right? All it just means ruler. It just means ruler, and that's what the Most High was saying, even with Samuel. You know what I mean? When the people was like, we want a king over us like the other nations. It's not whatever. And the Most High said to Samuel, they're not despising you. They're despising me because again, the Most High, like Chris alluded to, the Most High is, he's the creator of all things. He's our ruler, right? He's our power. He's our everything, and we didn't need any other ruler over us, right? We didn't need any other ruler over us. So that's basically what we get. We utilize that term king. That's not because that's what's just been given to us, right? We wanted a ruler. The people wanted a ruler over them. Basically, literally, just smacking the Most High in the face. Like, okay, like he didn't just bring us up out of Egypt. Like he just didn't punk all these gods of Egypt and this and that, whatever, and bring us out of Egypt and rear us up in the wilderness and feed us in the wilderness and all of these things, whatever. So they would just kind of just smacking the Most High in the face. That's why he told Samuel, they're not despising you, they're despising me. They want a man to rule over them when I've been their ruler all this time, right? So that's what it is. And again, just like C Love too, Chris Love, said, the Most High, the King, the Creator, the ruler of all, He gave authority to Mashiach to be able to, fulfill the instructions of the Most High, right? And walk in the anointing that the Most High gave him. So he does have authority, and I'm not saying he does not. He does have authority. He has the authority that the Most High gave him. The Most High gave him a superior authority, actually. Just even in the sacrifice, right? So he does have the authority, but again, we have one king. And we have a prince. So all praises, all praises. You got something?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mentioned it, but the Psalms 110, reign until I make your enemies a footstool, and you see that in Corinthians actually happening, and he give it to the real king.
There it is. There it is. So the prince was actually doing the job that the king sent him to do.
Yep, and it
Right?
had a
So
time limit. It was
and it has a time limit. Exactly right. And there's a limit on it. Exactly right. Until I make your enemy your footstool. And when the kingdom is down here on the earth, again, the king and the prince will be together with us. So all praises, family, all praises. Danny did Danny put his joint up in there too? Or do you have it? All right. Chris put the other fellowship in there. The family, all praises, all praises. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody have anything? All right, all right. If not, Oaks, either one of the C loves, y'all want to close us out in prayer?
put little
Man,
seeds on the note, man. Put little seeds on the note.
I was I was waiting for you to speak first. You don't want it?
Oh, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you since you always hit mine with it, man. You
Yeah,
dropped
that's
us off.
why. That's why. That's why I do. I do.
Oh, my.
All praise,
All right,
all
man. I'm
praise.
finna turn to the east right now with you.
No doubt.
Dear, dear Yah, thank you for this study. Thank you for Akmar for leading this study, and for your spirit leading, guiding, directing all of us and edifying all of us. We ask that you continue to fill us with your ruach, and in order to accomplish the things you've called us to accomplish, Yah, because we only aim to do your will and only aim to please you, Yah. We give you all glory and all honor as the Most High, Yah, the King of Kings, the God of gods, the Most Mighty. Yah, we ask that you forgive us of our sins, of the sins of the nation, and the sins of our forefathers, and remember the covenant that you have with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We just give you all praise, glory, and honor, Yah, and I ask that you continue to direct our steps so that we may walk down the path you've given each and every one of us. Thank you for everybody here, and again, we give you all praise always. In the grace you've given us, Yeshua's name we pray. Amen.
Aman, Aman,
I'm
Aman,
on.
Aman.
Aman, Aman. All praises. All right, he got put it in there. All praises. All right, family. Love y'all, family. Walk in the Most High. The text is halak. Well, in Hebrews, it's halak b'shalom. Walk in the peace of the Most High. We love y'all, family. Shalom, shalom.
Love you,
Shalom.
family.
Shalom.
Shalom, family. All
Wow.
right, so y'all. Later.